What up, G Life? This right here is beautiful Killer Cali, California. Land of beautiful weather, palm trees, sandy beaches, and the good high life, the Hollywood nightlife. It is also home to gangbanging capital. Very notorious right here. So many different gangs throughout all of California. And California is also home to that West Coast gangster rap, bro. West Coast legends like Dr. Dre, Tupac, Snoop Dogg, and many more. But it is also home to Chicano rap and its talented roster of artists that do their damn thing. Now, one of these artists that we'll be covering today is a very controversial artist. Is an artist that I often people come and tell me, if I could do a video on it or what are my thoughts on it. So, with no further ado, let's get into it. I keep it G like a G is supposed to. I'm from the old school, no one comes close to. Post it up and I do what I want to. Post it up and I do what I want to. I keep it G like a G is supposed to. I'm from the old school, no one comes close to. Post it up and I do what I want to. Post it up and I do what I want to. I keep it true and I mean every last word. I was fooled by the truth, real gangsters. White tee creased up with a strap too. I'm from the bottom where we earn all our tattoos. Boy, it's taboo when you living just like I do. Air is up and we keep it all blue. I keep it loony and I don't mean like cartoons. They talk brave till they hear that click, clap, boom. It is what it is, we do what the G's do. Celebrate so we hotbox the whole room.
You are now watching M.O.D. Entertainment.
Now, the artist that I am referring to is none other than Mr. Big Lokote. Now, who is Mr. Big Lokote? Mr. Big Lokote is a Chicano rapper that comes out of the east side of Los Angeles, the Boyle Heights area of Los Angeles. This was his home, his playground where he did his damn thing, growing up. As a matter of fact, Big Lokote was a member of the Cuatro Flats neighborhood. Cuatro Flats, 4th Street Flats, for those, who don't know, is a neighborhood that was started right there in Boyle Heights, right alongside the Pico Aliso housing projects, the very infamous projects that were torn down. But he came from the Pico Garden projects, which are on the opposite end on 4th Street, right? Their territory extended from 4th Street all the way to Clarence, and from Clarence, their territory still extended all the way to where it's Whittier Boulevard and back around, right, to where the freeway's at. Everything that's in the middle, and that's right there, it's considered their barrio throughout the Pico Garden projects, which now are more nice than they were before. Before it was, chaotic right here. Now they cleaned them up, but it's still a notorious, dangerous place, right? So don't get it twisted. And this barrio has been right here for a long, long, long time, bro. You know what I mean? Since the 1930s, that this barrio has been established right here. And feuding with the barrios that surround it, because you do have a lot of different gangs within this area. And this barrio is well known and with a few hundred members to them, you know what I mean? So these guys are well recognized, throughout this area, throughout Glass Street, Eagle Street, all of that consists of their barrio. So the Barrio Cuatro Flats, trust me, dog, they do their thing right here. You know what I mean? They made headlines and all kinds of shit. And this is the barrio which he belonged to, right? Now, Big Lokote was a member of High Power, right? He belonged to High Power Records, right? With Mr. Capone and the rest of the camp, right? Now, his debut was in actually Mr. Criminal's album, which was What the Streets Created. He had a song right there with Mr. Criminal, which led into his rapping career, right? And then his multiple albums that would come right after that, when it comes to his career, right? Because he has dropped several different albums. Now, the reason why I was saying that it was very controversial is that the individual is well known for, a lot of Chicano rap beef, right? He had beef with Slow Pain, Conejo, also with High Power once he left, and, with with so many different Chicano rappers, I mean, the list goes on and on and on, right? Um, he would make videos insulting them, diss rolas insulting them. Then you had, also the whole beef with the norteños and the videos of that, and so the individual was well known, well recognized, and well hated, by a lot of individuals. Um, right, because of all his multiple songs of dissing and stuff like that. Now, I'm not here to judge the individuals or their pedos, and I'm not here to take sides or who's right or who's wrong. That's none of my pedo. That was between individuals. I'm merely here just to speak on the topic, right? But I'm like nowhere here to take sides or talk about these issues, because I think it's weird when people take sides. Just because they hear a song and they hear an artist diss a rapper, they're gonna pick sides. And it's like that's not your beef. Like why are you picking sides for? You get what I'm saying? So I just let them be. Now, his first album was in 2007, which was the Dark album. That was his first album, and then you had him drop another album in 2009 that was called Homicide Chronicle Volume 1, and then you had him drop once he left High Power, obviously, there was tensions and issues and beefs right there, right? Disagreements. I'm not going to get into all of that because, people have different versions of how they want to tell their tales, you know what I mean? So we can just go based on that they just had a disagreement, right? And it went their separate ways. So then, in 2012, he released the album High Coward Killers Part 1, and then he released High Coward Killers Part 2, and then he also dropped sick asylum soldiers, and then he also dropped gang banging stories in 2014, right? Because once he left High Power, he started what's known as the Insane Asylum, right? And it was several individuals that belonged to this rap group of his, right, which he started. He had different artists in that, Mr. Demonio and several others, different rappers from different areas, like from New Mexico and stuff like that, right? So he was doing his thing, right? But then roughly around like 2010, he retired. He just pretty much was focusing on himself and stuff like that. Then he came out of retirement because people were dissing him. He dropped another album, where he goes at it again with more rappers, and then he retired again. Now, I get it that that's a good way to, get your name known, dissing individuals and, causing all this pleito and getting a lot of people to hate you, heated to keep your name relevant. But it also brings a lot of negative attention, and it also burns a lot of bridges, right? Now people are not going to want to do business with you because they don't want to deal with the drama and issues and etc., right? So it kind of just like it narrows your options when it comes to the music, at least from my personal opinion, when it comes to doing music. But like I said, to everyone meets their own, you know what I mean? If that's how he felt he wanted to conduct himself, then, it is what it is. But, so he left pretty much the music behind. It just focused on himself and his life. Like I said, you know what I mean? But he was an individual that was well known within the Chicano rap industry, somebody whose name that kept popping up, and people, wanted to ask questions and wanted to know what's up because, like I said, of all the beef and issues and drama and, people love the drama, what can I say? But he was talented. When it came to rapping, in the beginning, his rolas were cool. I'm not gonna say I was a super big fan of his albums. They were a little bit too more, how can I say, they were too extreme, like they were too, to me it came off like trying too hard, you know what I mean? With no disrespect, it just felt like too much, you know what I mean? With serial killers and all kinds of stuff, it was just like, okay. For my taste, right? But he does have rolas in which that I mess with, you know what I mean? That I think are good tracks, but I could only be honest right here, so I'm not gonna act like if I was a super big fan. But when it comes to the artist himself, right? When it comes to his rapping, is he talented? He is very talented, very skillful, gifted individual. He can rap fast, rap slow. He brings, with that whole wickedness and satanic and, demonic type rap. So it's something different, than the ordinary, very aggressive type rap. I dig it, though. I dig it. He gets down, it's, most of his songs that are chingon are the rolas dissing individuals, you know what I mean? So the individual does have talent, you know what I mean? I can't take nothing away from him. He is definitely skillful when it comes to rap, you know. As a matter of fact, you know, we'll go ahead and we'll react to a video that way you guys could get an overall vibe of his, you know, music if you guys want to go check it out, you know, and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure he still gets, you know, royalties and stuff like that for his rolas. But overall, yeah, that's who Big Lokote was, you know, straight out of Boyle Heights, out of the east side of Los Angeles and 4th Street. But now, you know, he's just doing his thing. Yeah, but that's who he was in his Chicano career. Get an overall idea of his music, right, and how he raps. Here's a rola that we'll react to of his, right, to get an overall feel of the individual. I didn't get demonic. Minas Truenos. Only going to war for sure. I don't know if all of that is very necessary, but
lokote with such cerotes, they never trust them and also a crew. And I'm on the murder sprees, license vertically, then use the rest of the body as food. Remaining the same, while straining in brains, strictly who remains, but also include fame, intestines, and muscle tissue. Cause it's not a meal if there's nothing to chew. That ain't even where it stops, so make your fucking children watch me do the same thing to their mother, then I'll fuck her while she rides. So things like focusing me off, machetes will slice and hatches will chop, taking the lives of our
Ninja Turtle.
ANC remaining on time.
Fuckers come and try me. The devil lives inside me. Run up at me, partner, introduce you to my colleague.
Take my tip and fertile, leave your armies on they back. On us, both on DVDs, cause if they step, they get it whacked. Don't wanna see no darkness, I'll put your faithful in the coffin. 187, I'm cowards and put me, believe when you sleep and you drunk, no one's popping.
You wanna come and see me live, you better believe it, better have somebody up, leave a bitch, you was sticking pieces to the dedicated to the rapper, talking like a beef to the king. I don't see what the fuck is
he does have skills.
I'm taking high, so don't front unless you really wanna die. And I gotta take pride in autistic homicide with a sick and twisted mind, rapping for the wicked side. Throwing up the dust so much, you think my hand is by leaving, except to this demon. I'm guaranteeing that there's no way you be leaving. Put you through therapeutical treatment that will leave you paraplegic. Can't feel your body weight still, it's cause it's very deceiving. Cause of the violent lyrics I'm writing, I was placed inside.
His timing was a little bit off right there, but other than that, I mean, it's still good, you know, just a little slight critique right there.
In the silent, I reside in a room who was better to stop me from unleashing rage on you faggots. I'm from ANC, I'll crucify you to a cactus. My victims put me to sleep cause they stuck deep in my mattress. Remain in the bed and stay in the hardest rap vocal artists to blast away tugs. Coming to finish where enemies started by ripping apart his skin off his cocks. Leave him in the darkness, so he's on my level. My name is Bruce L, aka the fucking devil.
Oh, a lot of demonic stuff.
From the dead, I just said that from here with the thriller. I spread my feet, not fucking cowards. I leave them condemned with a decapitated that shit.
Oh my god.
When I'm cutting your heart at your chest, accepted it, you know that won't even will because won't even told us come out of your head. You had no idea how fuck I can just cause I got no remorse when I beat you in that. That's why you still alive, cause you live on the net when you come to my fingers, introduce you to death.
Deep in the sidewalk red, and if you think you fuck your families and friends, screaming to people you bleaching the time with suffering, bristled up on my brain. Psychopathic, no good thing, I'm not too bad. Putting cadavers and barrels of acid, that's where these haters gonna pay. You know you bust up the hill, then I'm gonna go murder you bitches all over again. To be diabolical, twisted you wish when I'm splitting with chase, I'll hit you in the head. If I'm smelling like rotten fish with decay with disease gonna read. Then I'll be that serial killer that all of you dreaded saying that's all I need. Jump into your bed. I don't be the one you motherfuckers wanna try or put your body in a pit like a devil in the night. You wanna come and take me, you better think it over twice, cause I'll be pissing all that ass while you burning alive.
Okay, they go hook it out. Overall, the rola was pretty dope. I like the beat. The beat was good. Like I said, it's a little bit too much, like trying so hard, on the demonic stuff. But other than that, that's the only thing I could critique. Big Lokote got off, like I said. What I like about him, or why I say he's a gifted rapper, is how how he switches his style when he's rapping, right? He's rapping it in one pace and tone, and then he switches it up, and he brings multiple different styles, right? Which is an interesting way of rapping because I don't see many rappers doing that, right? So it's what made his style original to him, right? That's why I dig it, right? Because he was creative and unique in that form. If only he was able to stay out of the beef and just focus on the music. I think he could have gone to far places because he does have a lot of talent. You know what I mean? It's just that it's all the pleitos that probably hinder him. But overall, he had a lot of gift. When it came to rapping, as you guys can see, he could spit it fast, slow, multiple styles. So the individual definitely had talent. Also, the guy that was rapping with him, a few, hiccups here and there. But other than that, I mean, the individual has talent. But overall, that's what I think. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments. If Shadow, we out.